United States of America is the most successful nation the world has ever known. I think that's largely because we're the freest nation. Humans cannot reach their potential, cannot realize their dreams unless they're free.
If prosperity were easy, everybody around the world would be prosperous. If freedom were easy, everybody around the world would be free. If security were easy, everybody around the world would be secure. They are not. None of this is going to be easy. But this is the United States of America. It takes an extraordinary effort. It takes extraordinary commitment. It takes extraordinary strength. The Valley Forge wasn't easy. Going to the moon wasn't easy. Settling the West wasn't easy. We are the American people. We have seen difficulties before, and we always overcome them. This is about rolling up our sleeves. I mean, we're going to have some differences, but at Americans putting our head down and getting it done.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Wayne Dupree. I have the godfather of conservative radio, Mr. Hutch Bailey Jr.
Oh, brand new week. Glad to be here. How's it going, guys?
And I also have Mr. Jason Robinson. What's up, Jay?
Hey, top of the morning, guy. Sorry I was a little late. I was looking for an F-35. I was just kind of looking around out there. I haven't seen it yet.
I missed that one.
Oh, the Marines lost a jet.
Yesterday afternoon, a Marine, they were flying over South Carolina, and he ejected. That was yesterday afternoon. I want to say,
like, put it on autopilot first.
Yeah, and they can't find it. So if any of our viewers are in the South Carolina area, look up. Let us know if you see a jet.
If you see anything, dial 1-800 Marine Corps.
Okay, there we go.
It's going to get worse before it gets better with these woke guys.
Wow, never heard of that one before. Eject, yeah, but it's still going.
I haven't really seen the details either. Why they ejected and then the play? Like, wouldn't you do that?
I don't think they have like auto land yet either.
Right? Yeah, it's like it's
just going to run out of gas and.
Wait a minute, it looped back around. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're broadcasting on Red Voice Media Network. Make sure that you visit them on their Rumble channel. If you're watching us on our Rumble channel, please be awesome and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the follow button. And click on the notification so that you know when we go live. A lot to talk about. A short time to do it. We have two awesome guests. The next senator from Utah will be joining us in just a few seconds. Mayor Staggs. But we also have Roy from the new federal state of China. A lot of stuff going on with China. A lot of stuff going on with China these days. I mean, I think Xi did the closest thing to a Moab bomb to Taiwan over the weekend.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know why he just don't do it. Now, I'm not saying he should do it, but what's taking so long? You know, I mean, it's like this thing is, I mean, if you surround the island with all those things, dude, what's next? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, what is that? 120, 150 planes or whatnot? Or I'll find out. But yeah, we're as you probably heard at the end of last weekend, um, Mitt Romney is not going to run for the senatorial seat next year. So we have Mayor Staggs, who is probably now I can see the front runner, hopefully, for that seat. What's up, Mayor?
Hey, how are you?
Glad to have you back here on the show. I wanted to quickly find out, where are you right now with that news that just dropped, and how does that affect what you're doing now and what you're planning on doing?
Well, I got to say, first and foremost, it wasn't really a surprise in terms of him exiting and coming to this decision to not seek reelection. I mean, I've been going around the state and half jokingly saying the reason I'm running is because Massachusetts doesn't need a third senator, right? So
Right.
it never was really a great fit with Mitt here in the state of Utah. He promised all sorts of things that didn't deliver on, and balanced budget, stop spending, end illegal immigration, appoint conservative justices. That wasn't his record. So as we traveled the state and talked to so many people, they were just not having it. They said, "Hey, look, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." And they were not going to be voting for Mitt, especially after we brought out his record and reminded folks of that. I mean, he was down considerably in the polls since we announced our candidacy, and we gave folks an alternative, a true conservative, alternative to Mitt Romney, and they saw that. So I was the only one that came out and had the courage to take on the establishment, to take on Mitt, and that I think is important. It typifies my career. I've stood up to the establishment.
Mhm.
I suspect now with him out, we are going to see some other people that try to enter the race. But I believe that we are definitely the only conservative there. We are the America First candidate, and we have been getting all kinds of support from people across the country. We picked up Mark Levin, Charlie Kirk. We've got now Ambassador Rick Grinnell, who's coming and endorsed the campaign. I got Kerry Lake coming out to Utah today. We're doing a rally, an event here tonight in Utah. So we hope that the conservatives can all coalesce around our campaign. Don't be fooled by others that might enter the race now, because we know that Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney are going to be seeking their establishment candidate and try to prop him up.
Right.
All right, Mayor. Well, thanks for coming back on. Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's put some names to it. You absolutely seem to have the momentum and the people's ear right now. But talk to us about Gabriel Lobo Bianco has filed paperwork already, and you've got exploratory committee by Brad Wilson, current Speaker of the House in Utah. You've got Tim Ballard of Operation Underground Railroad. Jason Chaffetz sounds like a Mitch McConnell guy. I don't know. John Curtis, can you talk about any of these people? And have they talked to you, or do you feel any of them as a threat?
I really don't. I mean, I have talked to some of them. Yes. The only people that are officially in, I think that first name you mentioned, I don't even know who that person is.
Data architect.
Yeah. And Brad Wilson is the Speaker of the House here in the state. He's quite an establishment figure himself. He just announced an exploratory committee in April, kind of holding out to see what Mitt was going to do. I know he's very close to Mitt Romney, and they shared some of the same consultants and donor base. So I would think that is, one of the establishment candidates that they're looking at. These other folks, I've talked to Jason Chaffetz and others. I really don't suspect that he would run. That's really not in the offing this year. And some other folks that were rumored, like our Attorney General, Sean Reyes, has indicated just last week that he is not running for the Senate. He's going to seek re-election as our Attorney General. So there could be some other names that pop up. But I think by and large, we are the America First candidate, and we're going to continue to build this coalition and have folks rally around us.
Awesome. Hey, Mayor, congratulations. This provides an interesting path for you to get the nomination. Now, we've seen this playbook before, where the establishment is going to going to coagulate around a candidate that won't be an America First MAGA candidate. And we talked a little bit about that. But the other thing that's going to simultaneously happen is they're going to level some sort of ridiculous charges about you. You said something that was racist. You have this skeleton in your closet, that kind of thing. So as your campaign gets going, like, share with the Wayne Dupree audience, what skeletons are they going to dig up from your closet?
Well,
did you tweet something 6 years ago that's going to get you in trouble? Did you?
Yeah, or cemetery plots, whichever you got,
whatever you got.
I really don't want to give them any fodder. I mean, I really can't think of anything that, but I'm sure that you're right. They're going to try to find, something, a fight in junior high school that I got into. Who knows? But I really look. I love this state. I've been here, like I said, from elementary school to graduate school. I've raised my family here. I've operated businesses. I took a company public last year, listed on NASDAQ in the energy space. Energy independence is incredibly important to me. And I've been in elected office for 10 years, running my community. And I think I've got a very solid reputation and record. I claim I'm authentically Utah and I'm consistently conservative. I've demonstrated that not just fiscally and cutting taxes in my community, but also saying no to ESG, fighting for life, passing resolutions back in 2019 in support of human life, and then also standing up to inappropriate materials in schools. So I have quite the record of just advancing conservatism, putting America first. That's what we need now more than ever, with being in $33 trillion in debt and all the nonsense going on in DC. We need somebody who is almost like a Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and is a mid-sized city mayor and business background, and having been here my whole life. That's who I think I am. And we'll take whatever shots they may try to throw, but we think at the end of the day, we're going to be the person standing.
I briefly mentioned the China situation. That is, there's a lot of things happening with China these days. A lot of the people in DC, they really don't talk about it. As a matter of fact, they're stuck right now on an issue that comes around every year. It's almost, it's almost like Christmas. Well, it's not Christmas, but I mean, it's almost like a holiday. I mean, yeah, we knew that the spending thing was coming up. We knew it. They knew it. God knows it. So, they're playing with the American people once again, while China is, I guess, building up their ranks, but they're also infiltrating this country. And then I want to know what you think about both the China, the CCP situation with our government and our media, and also this bull crap distraction money thing once again before by the end of the month. What are your takes on those two things?
Yeah. Well, I think with respect to China, it's just our policy towards them has been disastrous from day one. Their admittance to the World Trade Organization, back in the 90s, it's led to the destruction of millions, quite literally millions of jobs here, especially in the manufacturing sector. They play by a completely different set of rules. They steal our intellectual property. They devalue their currency. I mean, we need to be much tougher on them than we are. And President Trump did that. Right. And that's why I've endorsed him. I welcome him back to serve another term in the presidency. Would love to be in the Senate and advancing his, Trump Agenda 47 here, because we've got to be tougher on China. We tried to take steps at the state level here. I know that we passed legislation that gets rid of the Confucius Institutes that were so prevalent. They're starting to work their way into schools here. It's just a means for them to go ahead and advance their propaganda. We've also prohibited Chinese from buying property in the state. And I think that's important too. And other states in the country should take note of those types of efforts. But we need to definitely be, our guard has to be up with respect to China. Now, with the spending, here we go again. I think Senator Lee has really articulated this well. He said, this is a joke. I mean, we keep doing this. He claimed it's the law firm of Schumer and McConnell and McCarthy and Jeffries, that law firm of these four individuals, the leadership in both sides that advance these omnibus bills, these continuing resolutions at the final moment. And they say, look, if you don't pass it, oh boy, it means that there's going to be a shutdown and we're going to blame everything on you. It's not the way our government's supposed to be running. We're supposed to have separate, appropriations bills. I think about a dozen of them with each area designated separately. And that's what should happen. And we need to get to that place. And hey, if it requires a shutdown of the government in order to make this happen, we've got to come to a place where we finally go through the proper appropriations process. Otherwise, it's just continuing to do more of the same, kick the can down the road. We're going to be much more than $33 trillion in debt. It's just, this is an issue that Utahns deeply care about. I mean, as a mayor, I balance my budget for the last 10 years, and our households do the same. We expect Washington to do it, but they claim that they're just exempt from it. And it is really, it's a big sense of motivation for me, because I have a 13-year-old son and 11-year-old daughter, and it is the height of immorality, I've said, to place that level of burden on them and on successive generations. It's incredibly immoral, and it has to stop.
I agree. And you said it's a joke. You mentioned Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Totally different government today than back then. I mean, today, and I'm sure you know this, but Congress hasn't written any legislation since the 90s. You think about that. Not one representative in the entire Congress has taken a pen and put it to paper and came up with legislation. Their job is to sell it. I just wonder if you're aware of that, and is there anything that we can do? The problem I have is that we've got unnamed people on K Street that are writing our legislation for us. Don't even know who they are. Don't even know if they're Americans. I mean, is this something that's important to you? And is there a way to fix this? I mean, and I know you're not even in there yet, but I just wanted to ask.
No, it is a problem for sure. And that's something that there needs to be a complete prohibition, I think, of any elected officials working on K Street and in the lobbying realm. There has to be a significant period of time. I mean, 10 years, what have you. There needs to be also, I think Senator Hawley has put forth a proposal that would prevent members of Congress from owning individual stocks. They can own mutual funds, but not individual stocks. That may be a proposal that I would support as well, because we can see that there's all kinds of corruption. I mean, we've got a ruling elite that cares more about the maintenance of their power and enriching themselves than they do about the average American. And it's a shame. They're driving this country to the brink. They have driven it to the brink. And we need adults that are going to come in, people that care more about their country than themselves, to step up and actually get the job done here. And so, yeah, I think we need to take a look at that for sure and implement legislation that would bar people from just using the elected office, as a means of enriching themselves.
Senator Staggs, we just love listening to you talk, because it's nice to have common sense, regular Americans that want to serve. And I think as I look at your candidacy, you check the boxes. You're pro-America. You've done legislative work with a conservative record. But I think one of the most fascinating parts of you as a candidate is your business experience. And you mentioned your energy company that went private, because I think the more we have people that's how it's supposed to work. You get successful people from the nation that go serve in Congress for X number of years and come back. Can you kind of explain to our audience what that journey was with your energy company?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that's key. We have to have, we got a citizen government. That's the way it was intended. Our founders wanted it to be that way. You go in, you serve, and you finish. I've signed and committed to a term limit pledge as well. I think, and I'm imposing one on myself here in my office as mayor. I've served a term on my city council, 2 terms as mayor now, and it is not intended that people get into office and be there forever. And we need folks that have experience, that have legitimate world, life experiences that can bring that perspective into elected office. That's what I've done in my community. And by doing that and then taking a business or entrepreneurial approach to city government, we've cut taxes, we've lowered spending, we've increased efficiencies. people actually have better service today than when I took office. And, we've actually cut our taxes. So that approach needs to be taken to DC. I think having business background, having an MBA, operating several businesses, taking a company public, and serving on the board of directors for about 3-year period of time and consulting with this firm. It's a, incredible new technology that had come about that's able to separate oil from soil and make both usable. And so in addition to some midstream oil and gas assets that they have, just traditional oil and transportation, blending of certain different oil types to meet a specification, right? To keep America energy independent. I mean, they have facilities in Texas and also in Louisiana. We also had this nascent technology that allows all the vast oil sand resources that we have to be put this technology to that resource. And I've said, look, we have enough resources in just eastern Utah and western Colorado, what they call the Uinta Basin. There are billions and billions of recoverable barrels of oil there. It's proven that asset, that resource is there. And I say, if we could just go ahead and utilize those resources or work on them, we would be energy independent, not just from the Middle East, but from any other countries that want to do us that don't have our best interest at heart. Incredible. So we've got the ability here. We've got the technology. We need to deploy it and become energy independent.
Well, I tell you this, I wish I was there for your event tonight. I couldn't get the jet in time, but I want to remain in contact with you as we've been doing behind the scenes, because I really think that you can get up there and at least show some of those people that have been spoiled by the corruption what a real constitutional conservative really looks like and is if you get elected to the seat. How can people support you on social media and also your campaign?
Yeah, I'm at Mayor Staggs. So on Twitter, on Instagram, at Mayor Staggs. At TrentStaggs.com. That's STAGGS, TrentStaggs.com. I've been real humbled because, Wayne, coming on platforms like yours and being able to talk to your incredible audience. I think the last time I was on, I claimed I had donations from 48 out of 50 states. And the last two, I think it was Maine and Vermont. And one of your viewers indicated, hey, I'm from Maine. I'm going to go ahead and send you a donation. And they did that. And so I'm happy to say we have received donations, small dollar, but donations from patriots, from America First conservatives across all 50 states. And that's incredibly humbling. I mean, it shows how important it is, not just for Utah, for the entire country, that we put a true conservative, a constitutional conservative in the Senate to help advance, what we need and return back to the type of government that our founders had envisioned and really what is going to make us prosperous again.
Well, I tell you this, we enjoy having you on, and we look forward to bringing you back on so we can find out how the campaign is going. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Anytime.
Good. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mayor Trent Staggs running for Congress. I basically feel like he's the front runner right now, but don't rest on your laurels. Keep on supporting him and keep on sharing his message. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor.
Mayor Staggs. Seriously, I hope he gets in. But like I said, a lot of stuff just happened over the weekend. I don't even know. I don't even know. I mean, I wish I was with Lauren Boebert.
Wayne wants to go to a movie.
I wish I was with Lauren Boebert. I mean, hey, if y'all can defend that stuff, I wish I was with her. I wish I was just be beside her.
Talk about woke. I mean, the guy owns a gay bar.
Huh?
The guy owns a gay bar.
He's a Democrat that owns a gay bar.
It's
and
getting
he
deep.
and he was doing that.
I mean, I'm just saying. I don't, you know.
Oh man, he's switch hitter. He must be with the American League then.
I think the most amazing thing though is how is it within like 24 hours? Like we can't get video of a plane hitting the Pentagon, we can't get video of Epstein's cell, we can't get video of the cocaine in the White House, but we get a zoomed in shot of Lauren Boebert in a dark theater.
1024, boy. I mean, HD.
Right.
Damn, that was
Using night vision.
But you know what though? A lot of people jumped on. I guess a couple of weeks ago was Colonel Manus, and Colonel Manus said that he was there. He was there, and the plane did hit the Pentagon. As a matter of fact, he did not recovery of the plane or anything, but he was there. So I mean, I've seen a lot of people go after him. You know,
Yeah, no, Colonel Manus, he says it hit.
Yeah, I
watched the
mean,
video.
Something hit.
Something did hit. I don't know whether it was a missile or something. Something hit.
Maybe it'll be an F-35 in a couple days.
Yeah, I kind of saw him kind of taking in fire. It's like, leave it alone, man. I mean, you might have been there, but leave it alone. I mean, I saw the video. I saw the only video that I was able to see, and I still have issues with everything burning up. I mean, you went nothing left. Nothing was left. Luggage, nothing was left. The rudders, nothing was left.
And then you got to ask the secondary question: what happened? What'd they do to those people?
Yeah,
because they're dead. Because they're dead.
Same thing with the FBI building in New York. It's so funny because, well, it's not funny, but with plane one hit tire, right? First plane hit tire one or tire two. Second plane hit tire one, whatever. Okay. Those two came down. No talk about any plane or anything hitting that FBI building, but still it came down. Just crazy.
And in Somerset, they're talking about people see missile trails going up to the Flight 93
for that. Now, yeah, but and even with that one, where was the debris? There was a burnt spot or somewhere in the middle of the field. It's like, God dog, man, that thing must have been going at 400, 500 miles an hour or something like that for it to disintegrate everything.
I'll tell you what, there was a crash out here. I think it was TWA flight 427. I don't remember exactly, but it was a big loss. A big jetliner crashed around here, and I knew some guys that were on the search committee, the search group afterwards, going around and getting bodies and whatnot. He said there was stuff everywhere, man. There was stuff up in the trees.
Right,
there was legs hanging out over here. There's no way that stuff doesn't just go away.
No,
there's a seat over there. Oh, there's the restroom right there.
Exactly.
I just wish the government didn't lie to us about everything, even stupid stuff they don't need to lie to you about, so that when the government told us something, you could actually believe it. Because that's where the conspiracy theories.
When was the last time that happened?
That they told you the truth? Never.
Yeah, literally.
Never.
I think when Babe Ruth hit his final home run.
Right.
I mean, they've been lying so bad, man. I mean, it was not necessary. I mean, well,
they don't have to. They really don't have to.
If they didn't have ulterior motives, they didn't have to. But we don't even know what they're thinking about.
Right.
It's that bad.
And they're doing it under the umbrella of, well, we're trying to protect America.
Yeah.
No,
right.
Well,
I'll tell you where you put it at. You put it at the feet of the Bushes. That's where it goes. Look what they're still doing in Texas to this guy, Paxton.
Oh, my God. How about Paxton winning this weekend? That was good.
He won, but the FBI still got an 8-year-old case on him.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. After he got acquitted, he's like, I'm coming. Get ready, boys.
I hope he does, man.
I hope he does.
I hope the Bushes get out of Texas and go back to Maine, like he said.
Does he get his job back?
Yeah, he got reinstated.
Yeah.
And like I say, he hit the ground running that night. He gave a press conference and he's like, buckle up.
He's law and order, man, that guy.
Yep.
They hate him. They hate him down there, the Bushies.
That's why I had a glimmer of hope during the 2020 election when he brought that lawsuit that Texas had standing for what and the way he laid it out and the way that he put it out in a regular world, yeah, they have standing. The result hurts Texas. You know what I'm saying? That the result hurts the e-commerce of Texas and the
border.
Yeah, I mean the border by itself, and the Supreme Court was like, nope. I was like, God, man. I have to admit, when that happened, because of all the other cases, which I was mad about, I was mad at all the other cases, but with that one, when that one got turned back, I was like, well, it's done then. And it's done. It's over.
I think the two biggest surprises probably of my political life happened during this. One was how corrupt the judges are.
Right.
The federal, that blew me away. Between that and the generals, it's like I got a different outlook on everything now.
Yeah. Republicans,
well, then they
mind you too.
Oh yeah.
For anybody that thought that it was just the Democratic judges that were out there that were turning back Trump stuff, it was Republican judges too. Probably Republican part of the establishment type. That
what happens? They do the same thing to them that they do to politicians. The intelligence community stakes out in front of their house for 5 years and surveils them and finds something on them, and then they own them.
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter what party they're from.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the complacency of the media. I mean, with what Milley did, that should have been nonstop headlines for 90 days.
He should have been locked up for that.
He should have
been locked up, and they should have made him a private E1.
Exactly. They should have busted him down. They should have
lost all pay and benefits, every damn thing. Yep.
You don't contact the enemy of the United States of America and let them know. I'll let you know if I hear anything.
He single-handedly destroyed the U.S. militaries, in my mind.
And how was that not the leading headline for a week or two? And how does every American not know that happened? Think of that. Like our audience does. But if you just talk to people at the grocery store, they have no idea that happened. And that's treason.
And the worst part about it, guaranteed, there are 5 or 6 or 10 or 50 senior generals that are behind him 100%.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's corrupt. It's cancered.
We're getting ready to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna have Roy from the new federal state of China. We got some questions we're gonna ask him here on the Wayne Dupree show, along with the Godfather and the youngin over there from Muslim Soda. Don't go anywhere. Let's see. Wait a minute, hold on. Seriously.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
When I invented My Pillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition My Pillow. The Giza Elegance My Pillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary My Pillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size My Pillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at My Pillow, thanks America!
Lauren called me. Well, welcome back. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne Dupree, Hutch Bailey Jr., and Mr. J. Rod from Muslim Soda. We are interviewing our awesome young brother from the new federal state of China, Mr. Roy. Whoa, what's up, Roy?
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be back.
I saw the shirt. Stand up, bro. Stand up. Stand up. Nice shirt, man. Nice shirt. Yeah. Okay.
A little break from the Buddha line.
The hydroxychloroquine. This is the antidote collection I talked about, and like G Fashion is the very first on planet to print hydroxychloroquine chemical compounds, the formula onto their clothes. So
stand up again for our people.
I love these guys.
There we go. Hydroxychloroquine on the t-shirt. You can find that at G Fashion, people. You can men and women shirt.
Yeah, but I don't think they have the same exactly same thing anymore. Okay. But yeah, this is for, remember, we also have ivermectin and artemisinin. So all these, and also the compound, the formulas on the shirt and on the hoodies. So
nice. Yo, listen, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff in from the CCP happening. One major thing that I wanted to talk to you about, that I think that our audience, especially our middle class, hard working American citizens need to know about, is their 401ks. And the reason why I say the 401ks is because of the real estate situation that is happening over in China. Now I know we've talked about it over the last couple of weeks. Where is that now with the real estate situation? Because again, Americans don't know. Your boy could call in his chit, and it's going to leave a whole lot of people in trouble. So where are we at right now?
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse, guys. Yesterday I just saw like the Hang Seng index, which is Hong Kong share market, just dropped another, I think, almost 2%. Although it's fake. Like the CCP has been faking it from the beginning.
So it could be worse.
Yeah, it's getting worse and worse. And I think Miles once said, finally, it's going to be closed because everything's fake. They fake the digits. It's controlled by algorithms and computers. And it doesn't reflect how well it is. But like to some extent, it still shows that like the economy is really bad. And we talked about this, like we've been saying that Xi Jinping would purposefully, confiscate the investment and just rush out the investors and seize the money to use it against the United States. The CCP has been stealing all the IPs, technologies from the United States. And now we saw a good trend is the US and Europe is placing sanctions on the CCP. We saw like the CCP is running out of chips. And we saw not other news like TikTok's been banned for over $300 million. Like Miles already said this a year ago, that all these tech companies listed on the U.S. market listed, they're gonna be banned. They're gonna be taken off the stock market because they all work for the PLA and the CCP. and they are all tools can be weaponized by the CCP when the tension rise. So that's the situation right now.
Okay.
Roy, you've been warning us for months, actually, your crew, about the disintegration of the CCP government, of Xi Jinping's government. And now I'm starting to see Western authors writing about this as well, that it's starting to really build up. And when you have a situation like, well, the chips are made in Taiwan. You have a situation like that, and you've got Xi's economy and government at risk. That's when when tyrannical communist leaders become the most dangerous, is when they get backed in the corner. And I wonder if you see any correlation between that and the recent meeting between Kim Jong-un of North Korea and Putin, and a new axis kind of brewing. Do you think that that'll have anything to do with the conquest of Taiwan? Is this a bigger picture item?
Yeah, definitely. We're seeing a trend, and I think it's a great comfort, first of all, for the whistleblowers inside China, for us to see like the West is being notified and using the same term. Also, like some congressmen I saw on Twitter, like they're using the exact same term as we used when we exposed it. Calling them the new axis of evil and new axis of tyrannies, which is good. I think that's the biggest reason why we're exposing this to ring the alarm for the whole world, and for the legislators, for the people who's not having the knowledge, not having the intelligence and information to be notified and to be alarmed. To be warned, and it's a good thing to have people to really realize. But still, like I said, CCP is orchestrating everything. We saw like at the front, Putin is meeting with Kim Jong Un, and right off the bat, Kim Jong Un, after he arrived at Russia soil, and he just went to the rocket launch site. And we saw videos coming out, like the Russians are introducing the missiles and the rockets to Kim Jong-un. And now we're seeing like also Venezuela is meeting high-ranking CCP officials, and they're saying like they have an all-weather, some strategic, collaboration or something, that which means basically they're just working together, collaborating together, and this Venezuela is going to join the evil axis as well. And we've been warning about like Syria, Iran, all those countries could join, and there could be a proliferation of nuclear weapons, and also the biological weapons, most importantly, because DCP is also supporting all these countries. It's already started to build P3 labs, and giving the technology to those dictators, which is extremely dangerous, because they feel it's such an effective and cheap way to deter the rivals, and also to control their own people. We're seeing this in the West as well. See the people at the party at the Davos, they admire what she did for the 2-year zero COVID policies. And the reason why it's so important, so dangerous for Taiwan, is that like when we talk about the West, the economy is collapsing, probably going to be bursted, because triggered by the bursting of Chinese economy. The shadow banking 43% and 35% of the real estate sector. And that's one side, and the other side, like the U.S. is sanctioning the CCP on chips, on technology, TikTok, Zoom, Tencent, Huawei, like all these companies going to be banned. Miles mentioned it a year ago, and also like internally, she is purging all the high officials, higher ranking officials. We talked about Qin Gang a couple months ago, and now Li Shangfu is got disappeared. And basically, like we have intelligence confirming that she arrested him as well. So this, like we're seeing this timing is coming closer and closer to us. We don't know exactly when. Probably the end of this year, probably sooner, probably later. Like definitely before election year, she's gonna make the attempt.
It's interesting you say that, because that's where I kind of landed on looking at the China situation. This has been going on for decades, but it feels like they're going to pull the pin prior to the next election, because I think there's concern on their end if we get an America first president and America first House and Senate, that they'll actually take actions to stop. But one escalation I saw that you guys were the first one to break. China was sending jets around Taiwan yesterday, like 103 jets. Have you heard anything more on that?
Yes, that's a historical high.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. It's happening. Like also, I think a couple of days ago they sent 20 or 30 or something. Like they've been doing this all the time, and just to flex their muscles and also to deter the Taiwan military and whatever. So this is one part we were talking about. We're warning about. This is where the tension is rising, and we see a clear intent that she is gonna make a move on Taiwan. It's gonna attack Taiwan very soon. And also, he's mobilizing the troops. We talk about the axis evil. They're integrating all these, resources, right? Kim Jong-un plans to send 500,000 soldiers to the Ukraine war to support Russia, where you see like the Xi Jinping is betting on the fact that the U.S. cannot fight two wars at the same time. So that's the
true, especially with what we got right now. I mean, basically, what we have right now is those, and these. I mean,
and F-35s
and missing F-35s. Yeah, but if that's his thinking, because when I heard this, I was like, you can play with the devil as much as you want, but sooner or later you're gonna get burnt. And this surrounding Taiwan or doing their thing with Taiwan, all you need is one little mistake to escalate and just knock everything off the axis. Do you think? Now, you said that she was going to send some troops to you, possibly send some troops to help Russia. Do you think North Korea? Do you think Kim Jong-un would probably help Xi with Taiwan?
Yeah, well, look, Kim Jong-un, first of all, he plans to send 500,000 soldiers to Russia and to support. And you see, like I said, this is a whole picture, right? Like you have a war in Ukraine, and also there's a prospective assault on Taiwan, on like Taiwan Strait. The tension is there, so there are two hotspots. But like Kim Jong-un is planning to, there's a 20,000, I think they call it support units, military logistic support units. It's going to be very soon. But if you look at the CCP is really already decided to send people, and they've already sent people to Russia, I think on March 1st. This is also the very first, like on the planet, like Miles said this, exposed this on live stream on March 1st. He said, like, for the past 24 hours, this has already been made that they will send, or they had already sent those soldiers across the border and to support them. And then you saw all of a sudden the Russian missile, before the Russian missiles they really don't hit the target, like in Ukraine. Right? They're really lousy. They're really like they're not good enough. They're not accurate. But after that date, you can go verify yourself. Like they've been very accurate, like right on spot, right on the target, because the CCP soldiers been like maneuvering, like controlling those military equipments and the rockets. It's no longer the Russian force. But and Miles called it as another failure for the Western intelligence agency communities, just like the spy balloon cases.
Wow.
They didn't realize how dire it is.
So basically what we have, we're in a world war right now. Basically.
Yes, and I think the United States has a domestic war happening right now. Like you look at the fentanyl situation, like it kills like 300 people per day, 300 American people per day. And if we look at the southern border, the crisis, and look at the upcoming virus and vaccine mandates. So I think, yes, the war has already started, I think, as early as 2020. Xi Jinping declared war on everyone in every country by releasing the virus and using the vaccine to push the devil's agenda.
And that's what it is. I mean, we can laugh about it, but this woke situation, this war on our culture, is much more damaging than people give it credit for. And I think that's one of the biggest things I learned from your organization is the plan. I think it was the 912 project. I can't remember, but when I heard that the CCP was behind the racial division of the George Floyd case, that's an act of war right there. That right there did so much damage to this nation, set us back 50 years in race relations when it didn't have to. That's something I'd like to learn more about. But there's other hot spots in this world as well that are getting ready to boil over at the same time, and one of them is in Niger, in Africa. And I wonder, is the CCP involved there at all? Because that would be a place that would be ripe for the Belt and Road project.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned about Africa and Belt and Road. I think that's also one of the focuses CCP had. And remember, CCP used to say after World War, saying like they have this non-alliance policy, non-alignment policy. I think they would not align with any country to form cooperation in terms of military and everything. And actually this, like, after we expose this new axis evil, this is the signal that CCP is sending out that they will break it. They'll break this non-alignment policy since like 1950s with all the African countries and the UN. They say they would never form this to oppose the so-called like the Western hegemony. That's one thing, but also yes, they have many cooperations with many countries in Europe, also Middle East, also Africa, through this Belt and Road initiative. Although we say lots of them, they're just a phase project, right? It seems like it really grand and really fancy, but actually it's not the case. Lots of them is just rotten tail projects, we call it. It's unfinished. But another aspect is like lots of CCP officials just taking bribers, and also the leaders, also the dictators in certain countries, like in this project, they're just taking money and briberies. It's not about infrastructure, but from the bigger perspective, from a grander perspective, like what's CCP's strategy here? CCP is trying to destroy and control all the infrastructure along the Belt and Road Initiative, like countries, right? They're trying to trap them with debts, and when their economy collapses, when they cannot pay back their debts, they say, "Okay, give me this port, give me this oil drill, or give me all the infrastructure you control," and then they basically control the whole country. So that's the strategy right there. But I don't think it's being successful. But we can see definitely the evil intent and the long-term strategy CCP is being carrying out.
Speaking about the long-term strategies, and I saw on one of your guys' channels, you were talking about the financial war being ready to be waged against the United States, or ready to kind of come to a head. And it was interesting because they were talking a lot about all the whistleblowers that have been killed. And it kind of hit home with me, where you think about something like Bernie Madoff. I watched the Netflix documentary about him, how he cooked all the books. He just made up fake financial documents and then sent them out to people, and everybody thought they had a bunch of money. And that really appears to be what the CCP is doing, where they just create their own financial documents. They say, hey, here's what it is. And the fact that people are starting to disappear, who are the whistleblowers who are talking about some of that, I think it really lends to that feeling that something's going to happen sooner rather than later with the financial thing. But am I misreading that, or are they getting more aggressive shutting people up who are talking about like, hey, these guys are cooking the books?
Yeah, definitely. Like if you look at Wang Jian, like I think the key, the timeline, if you look at the timeline of the whistleblower movement in New Federation of China, like Miles exposed how Wang Jian was not he didn't commit suicide. He was killed in France because Wang Jian was the biggest white gloves of HNA. HNA group is essentially controlled by the former vice president Wang Qishan, and it suddenly became trillion-dollar business from I think only worth 100 billion, like before Wang Qishan took over and start to develop it and start to orchestrate it. But it became we did the calculation. I think it's like 100 million per day. It has to earn 100 million per day to reach that size. But
Right.
it became one of the biggest financial group and company in China in a very short period of time, 3 or 4 years. And then Wang Jian was killed. And then Miles, I think he dispatched a small team, security team, and investigation team there, and then he gathered evidence like why he was not. It was not like a suicide, and then he showed the evidence. He opened up a conference, I think, or a press release conference, and then showed the world that how Wang Jian was killed. But the analogy here is that Wang Jian is just one incident. He's just one white gloves. How many white gloves are there? Like if you look at all the companies. Like
true.
Tencent, like Jack Ma, Pony Ma, if like a Zoom, Huawei, if you look at those companies, like every company have many white gloves working for the kleptocrats and waiting to be like killed essentially because they knew too much. It's not because like they don't have trust of or they're opposing them essentially. It's only because they knew too much. Probably it's a big enough reason to kill them. So that's what's been happening all the time. Because that's also why all the resources, all these companies, of course they cook the book, of course they fake all the financial records and I think they have one time we have a whistleblower come out and did a show in Chinese. He said like because he's been working with one of the white gloves called Xiao Jianhua. And he said like in almost in every company there are 3 different records documents to show to different people. Like one is for the Americans, one is for the CCP officials, one is the real one, and also I think one is for the public, for the investors, right? So yes, they faked everything. And if you really have a strict investigation in all the Chinese companies, which by the way worth like what $1 trillion is listed on the stock market, none of them gonna pass because all of them fake their number.
Before I let you go, I saw something yesterday from the Select Committee on the CCP. I guess Congress is trying to tackle. I don't know whether it's for show or not. I mean, the jury's still out. Maybe next time when we talk to you, maybe you can let us know what you think about this Select Committee on the CCP. But they did report yesterday that the Chinese Communist Party has ordered BlackRock executives in China to take classes in Xi thought while dedicating around a third of working time to studying the communist ruler. Attendance is mandatory. I was like, when I saw that, I was like, our BlackRock? The BlackRock for the United States is being told that they have to go through Xi studies?
Yeah.
Really? That's really?
Well, I think, yeah, this is really funny and hilarious, and also, you know, because I think Miles once said that when he met with, I think it was a couple of years ago, when he met with those executives in Goldman Sachs and Microsoft, you know, and also BlackRock, Blackstone, and they've been talking about like the experience meeting with Xi, those executives. And when meeting with Xi, those executives would really like bowing to Xi and saying like, "Oh, you're Xi Dada," which means like Father Xi. This is the figure. This is the image Xi wants to impose on like Chinese people, calling him Xi Da, calling him father, right? And Miles asked them like, "Do you know what it means to call them Xi Dada?" They say, "Oh, yeah, we know. It's Father Xi, Xi Father. We understand that." So that's the level, like how much they're willing to kowtow. Those are executives. Those are executives from Blackstone and BlackRock and Goldman Sachs and Vanguard, and those elites would be gladly to just kowtow to Xi. But this incident, this news, I think Mike Gallagher and also I saw another video. Josh Hawkey was calling out on Microsoft to decouple with them. I think they're doing a fantastic job. And also another part is that like they changed the name. You see, the Select Committee on China to Select Committee on CCP, which means they understand CCP does not represent Chinese people. But like, I think this is an incident where she understands she wants to flex his muscle and show the West and show the world, show the community and Congress and the government that who's in charge, who's the boss, right? It makes him, it just showing that, look, I can let them kowtowing to me that they have to spend 1/3 of their work time to study my Xi thought.
That's crazy.
Marxist ideology. So how ironic is that? But that's a signal sent by Xi. It's a political signal, I think, sent by Xi that to show him like how much control he has. Just like how he can easily just disappear high-ranking officials like Li Shangfu, like he disappeared his defense minister. We just confirmed that 2 days ago, that he arrested his defense minister. And also on September 15th, he sent like thousands of troops and almost 1,000 trucks, and he arrests all like over 200 associates in the rocket force.
Jesus. Well,
so
look,
that's what's going on.
Look, we gotta let you go. But again, we want to thank you for the information and for the studies that you also educate our audience with. How can people support the new federal station? The new federal state of China.
Please follow us at NFSC Speak on Getter and Twitter, and also go to nfscofficial.com. We have articles, clips, and translated clips with subtitles. Please go there. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, Fred.
Wayne Dupree, J-Rod, Godfather Conservative Radio, Hutch Bailey Jr., and Roy Guo from the new federal state of China. We will be right back.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
When I invented My Pillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition My Pillow. The Giza Elegance My Pillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary My Pillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size My Pillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at My Pillow, thanks America!
Call me Lauren. You see that dress she was wearing? or you see the dress she wasn't wearing? Okay, so
Wayne's looking for ex-wife number 3. Let's go.
Jesus.
What a hit job.
She is stacked. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'm a man. I mean, I saw it. I mean, it was Beetlejuice. I mean, what do you expect? Beetlejuice.
I was going to say, I never thought watching wasn't it a musical rendition of Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Like, that's what gets you frisky? Whatever.
Yeah.
Was Lori Lightfoot in that version?
She might be top heavy.
I'll tell you what, they they got a problem over there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Illinois just got rid of cash bail.
Yep.
Crime is now legal in Chicago. There's getting ready to be a body count in Illinois. I'd get the hell out of there if I was you, man. I wouldn't even stay there. No bail.
Did you see too that the new mayor wants to basically socialize grocery stores? He wants city-owned grocery stores.
Yeah,
it's going to be your full communist utopia.
Who else? I mean, but it's not just Chicago. They were trying to do that no cash bail in some other states, weren't they?
Oh yeah, it's a Soros thing, but I don't think anybody did it until now.
Nobody's dumb enough to do it.
You know, that's something that, I mean, no cash bail is fine if you have a civil society, but you don't.
Maryland,
that whole state.
St. Mary's County and Montgomery County have shifted away from the use of money bail for non-violent offenders. Now, you said, so is it no cash for everything in Chicago? I mean, in Illinois for everything?
That's the way I understand it.
Okay.
Let me fact check us.
Yeah. I mean,
if a judge decides a defendant does not pose a public safety or flight risk, they will be released without being required to post any money. 4 hours.
Maryland or Illinois?
That's Illinois.
So maybe it's not for violent offenses, but I mean, the biggest thing that does is it puts witnesses at risk.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Based on the history of this country, yeah, it does. Well, we had 13 witnesses. We only got one, and we can't connect with him.
Right.
Okay. So, well, I'm surprised they haven't done it in New York, especially with all those scooters and stuff that's happening up there. It's you know what, it's so much. Trump had another interview again.
With Valerie Jarrett's daughter's best friend.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Some people
Explain
don't
what
like
Valerie Jarrett is, Hutch.
No,
she was the brain.
No, we don't need to. I mean, she used to live in the White House with Barack Obama.
She's the president right now.
Yeah. Well, she left, didn't she?
She's still in D.C. Barack Obama's and lives with the Obamas. At least she did. I mean, this is the first president that stayed in Washington, D.C. It's been traditional for them to leave, and Obama never left. He bought a house there.
I thought he was in Chicago.
He's in D.C. when he's not in the Hamptons or whatever.
He's got a lot of houses.
Man.
That's true.
Oh no! Wait, whoa! He bought a house in Hawaii too.
Yep.
Yeah. He also lives in Hawaii. He's. I mean, hey, president is lucrative if they haven't targeted. I mean, honestly, seriously, I really don't want to talk about the goddamn spending thing. I really don't, because it's the same thing over and over again. But the issue I probably will have, and I think I will contact him to find out what the hell is going on, is Byron Donald.
He's the one that came up with the plan. He sold it to the moderates.
Yeah. And it seems like everybody's going after him, right? Him and Chip Roy right now. And Chip is the one that gets on the floor all the time and slams the spending in the country and spending from the Congress and everything. So I'm surprised to hear Chip's name up there for a continuing resolution. But I don't think the problem is that. I think the problem is they don't work enough to get things done.
Especially since they don't write legislation, so they only have two jobs: the budget and the hearings. What else do they do?
And the hearings really don't do anything.
No.
They meet with lobbyists, they meet with donors, they go raise money. Well, and just to kind of expand on that, because we had Representative Donalds on last week. So
didn't he say he wasn't going to?
Yes.
And
so he agreed to from his committee, I can't remember which committee he's on, to a continuing resolution with a couple adjustments to it, which basically means the spending that Pelosi House put in place continues
Yes,
with a couple adjustments. But I got to say, I got to give a shout out to, I think, one of our show's spirit animals, Matt Gaetz. It is criminal he's not been on the show. Matt Gaetz ain't having it. He even called out Byron Donalds, who he had nominated for Speaker of the House. He's like, this is a hard no for me, dog. He's specifically calling out on social media that if Kevin McCarthy doesn't follow through on the commitments he made to become speaker, which are single subject spending bills, voting on term limits, balanced budget amendment, things like that, he's going to introduce a motion to vacate. And everybody's just got to watch. October 1st, the government's going to be shut down. I don't see us, and I hope it does, personally.
Ain't gonna shut down.
Never has. I mean, if it does, it'll be for a week or two, and everybody will get paid again. And
we've had shutdowns before.
It'll be a continuing resolution again until the end of December, and then it goes to February.
You know, the thing about that deal that I didn't understand, Byron's deal, is two groups of conservative and moderate GOP lawmakers, respectively, wrote the bill that would keep the government funded at 2023 reduced by 8.125%, which would authorize $1.59 trillion.
Yep.
Now listen to this part of spending until October 31st of this year. I mean, do they mean this fiscal year? Or are they talking about 1 month? We spend $1.5 trillion.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't know how to read that. I mean,
that's crazy.
I believe the spending bill goes for like a year or something. It's because the total federal spending, I think, is $6 trillion. So, and that's one of 12 spending.
Well, there's 2 years. There's a calendar year and there's a fiscal year.
Right.
The fiscal year goes from October to September.
Yep.
Right.
So if they're talking fiscal year, that would be the entire budget year. But why would you make a CR for the whole year and it's only 1.5 trillion and it was 6 before or whatever? I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah. Explain that, Jason.
So there's 12 spending bills that need to get approved, and each one is for certain categories of spending. Agencies, yeah. And for Byron's, I believe they're talking for a 12-month bill. I think the Congress is trying to kick the can through the next election. If you look on the last round, the debt ceiling limit, they removed the debt ceiling until right after the election.
It is 1 year. The title of the bill, Continuing Appropriations and Border Security Enhancement Act for 2024.
Right. Yeah, they're trying to kick everything till after the election. And
they
I mean,
don't want to do their job.
And here's the thing, too. Folks can go fact check us. When they did the debt ceiling, they removed the debt ceiling limit in the last thing with McCarthy. And on this show, we're like, this is horrible. There were projections that by the time the election comes around, that the debt was going to be, they were saying 33, 34 trillion. And on this show, we were saying we're probably looking 35, 36 on the low side. We're about to crest 33 trillion. So we've gone, when that was passed, I think it was at 31.1 trillion. We're already going to hit 33 trillion, probably in the next 2 weeks.
Listen to this fact. We went over 1 trillion during the Obama administration. That's how fast we're going down this mountain.
Right.
1 trillion in 250 years. And a few years later, we're at 30 trillion.
Yep.
Wow.
That's unsustainable. I hate to use their words.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the reason why they're doing this is because they got rid of public hangings. There's no accountability in DC anymore for this.
Well,
so
when you look at the Wayne Dupree show, Wayne, and we're better dressed in the United States Senate now.
You know what? That's some bull crap on that.
Oh my God.
Bull crap just because of just one dude.
And that's not even a real guy. That's an imposter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which Fetterman shows up.
I saw him walking those little brick hallways of the Senate underneath, and he's wearing his sweatsuit shirt and his shorts. I'm like, dude, you're in the Senate. You can't do that. And then now all of a sudden, oh well, we've thrown the suit thing out there. Oh man. So I mean, I guess people can now go up there dressed as women and stripper.
That's next.
Stuff.
Right.
That's next.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous, man.
For those who didn't hear this weekend, Chuck Schumer instructed the House, whatever his job title is, that enforces the dress code, to not enforce the dress code. So John Fetterman is going to show up on the Senate floor with a hoodie and jorts. Now, I wear a hoodie and jorts around my house because I dressed in a suit and tie in the corporate world for a lot of years, but I'm not on the Senate floor. If I'm on the Senate floor, man, you're getting a tie and suit jacket.
Hell, if I go on the Senate floor, I'm going to wear it.
Huh?
I said, if I go on the Senate floor, I'm going to have a suit and tie on.
Right.
Can you imagine if he shows up with a sweat, with a hoodie
He did.
and some shorts on the Senate floor? I didn't see that.
Right.
You will.
He did. He was at a hearing with a hoodie on.
Did you guys see the film of him going to the UAW strike?
You mean his body double?
I'm saying, was he driving in that video?
Yeah.
Because I heard a thing.
Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah.
How do you do that? That's not him. You don't get to drive after you had a stroke like that. I mean, this country, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of great picture montages online about the many faces of John Fetterman, where if you look, like, his bone structure changes, and these are all in the last 12-month pictures.
They're not even good. They don't have the same tattoos.
Right.
You know, I saw a video of him. A buddy of mine made a jerk out of me because I thought it was him. And he sent me all this evidence. It's like, no, man, where's the tattoo? And
I will say one of the tattoo stories has been debunked, where somebody doctored the video to remove the tattoo.
See, that's that AI. Yeah, we're
Right.
never going to know truth again.
Right.
That's
well,
a shame.
I said that. I mean, look, when CNN was coming out with all those we have audio of Donald Trump, I was like, with this AI stuff, not anymore.
Right.
Not anymore. You can't trust that stuff now. You can't.
Wait till the fake sex tapes start.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny, you can't trust the government, you can't trust the media, and these guys have the best technology in the world to create any image or any videos. It's crazy.
I think that the Fetterman UAW thing that y'all are talking
John
about.
Fetterman from Pennsylvania, a senator from Pennsylvania.
Hey,
You want to work with him in DC?
Drove all the way from Pittsburgh because we're a union town here too. As well, it's just an honor to be here. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Like I always stand for the union way of life. I live across the street, from a steel mill and the steel workers, and I came from Pittsburgh because it's a union town as well. I will always stand for union.
That's him.
That looks like him.
That's him. That's him. That's him. I mean that.
He got the voice down too.
Yeah. That's him. That's him.
Boy, what do you guys think of the auto workers request? By the way,
I think they need to strike. That's the first time I'm going to stand with a union in a long time. That's about EVs.
You're standing. No, we're standing with the union workers. We're not standing with the union head.
Right.
I was watching an interview where I think it was a woman CEO or a woman. She was at the top. She's making $32 million a year.
Oh, I know.
$32 million a year.
And the thing is, to all our union brothers out there, you guys get screwed every time.
Yeah.
They give you guys concessions that you're never going to see. They give you concessions for your retirement or your health care. They never pay you. They never give you money in your salary, very little. Those freaking union guys are cleaning up at your expense.
Yeah. I was like, her name is Mary Barrera. Barrera. And she actually she justified her $32 million. And the way she did it, as a matter of fact, I got it. I'm downloading it right now because when I heard her, look, I ain't one to. I know right and I know wrong. Okay. I know right and I know wrong. But I swear she tried to do a Jedi mind trick on me that almost had me saying, well, you know what? Maybe she's right. But she's not right. Okay. She's not right. But the way that she was explaining it, I was like, dang, okay. Well, you know, if you carry the 1 and subtract 12, okay, well, maybe
the
that's
union
what she-
is demanding, asking for a 40% wage increase over 4 years. They're asking for that in part because they say CEOs like yourself, leading the big three, are making those kind of pay increases over the course of the last 4 years. You've seen a 34% pay increase in your salary. You make almost $30 million. Why should your workers not get the same type of pay increases that you're getting leading the company?
Well, if you look at compensation, my compensation, 92% of it is based on performance of the company. I think one of the strong aspects of the way our compensation for our represented employees is designed is not only are we putting a 20% increase on the table, we have profit sharing. So when the company does well, everyone does well. And for the last several years, that's resulted in record profit sharing for our represented employees. And I think you have to look at the whole compensation package, not only 20% increase in gross wage, but also the profit sharing aspect of it, world-class health care, and there's several other features. So we think we have a very competitive offer on the table, and that's why we want to get back there and get this done.
But if you're getting a 34% pay increase over 4 years and you're offering 20% to employees right now, do you think that's fair?
Well, I think when you look at the overall structure and the fact that 92% is based on performance, and you look at what we've been doing of sharing in the profitability when the company does well, I think we've got a very compelling offer on the table, and that's the focus I have right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would have the same view that I have looking at my boys, watch her give that explanation. That's the same look that I had. I was like, okay, well, all right. But it still doesn't make sense.
See, they should fire her. She should be gone because she's the genius that's ushering in these EVs to GM.
Okay,
She's going to destroy GM.
So I want to break this down a little bit because we're laughing and we're mad, but we're laughing and mad at the wrong people.
Yeah.
This lady came in and the federal government wants to push through this EV agenda, which every automaker and their board of directors should be fighting against. They should say this is stupid. Nobody's going to buy these freaking cars. We're not going to do it. The government is bribing the companies by giving them all kinds of financial incentives to not fight back. If it was just free market, none of these folks would be building electric cars.
No,
but
this is called oligarchy. Oligarchy is what this is. There's a definition for it.
But this lady was smart. I'm going to give her credit. She said, all this government money is going to come in as long as I support this EV bullshit. And so instead of taking a salary, I'm going to take a percent.
A percent, right.
But they left the last sentence they left off. I'm going to take a percent of this salary and I'm going to ruin GM and none of you are going to have one job.
So now everybody's mad like, oh, we should give, I'll be honest, if they give the auto workers a 40% raise and working 32 hours, that's going to speed up the bankruptcy of these companies. But they got the money from the federal government, from the Green New Deal, from the Inflation Reduction Act, from all these things.
COVID.
From COVID. And the corporate executives are supporting it because they said, well, hey, I'm paid on performance. If you're going to give my company billions of dollars, I'm going to get a big paycheck. So I'm not going to fight back against this stuff. I'm not going to tell my company we're not going to build electric cars because the government's funneling all this money to me in this ridiculous legislation. So we're mad and we have every right to be mad. But this lady was just smart. The government's going to give us billions of dollars.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
right.
That's why when I was listening to her, I was like, I mean, I can see why she's doing it. Okay.
And all day. And she's
but it really doesn't make it right about what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
This is what happens with the woke culture.
Right.
When money is your god, you do stupid things.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where we are right now. 100 years ago, that CEO would have been more concerned with GM's legacy and their future than those couple bucks.
Yeah, America
They
first.
No,
GM
it's
should have turned down the government money and said,
Yeah.
we're going to not build all these electric cars. But
Let me-
GM took the money, and all those board members and all those senior executives got those big paychecks. They're having these meetings where they're sitting around the table going like, what's our next electric vehicle promotion? Meanwhile, they're rotting on the lots. Nobody's buying them. Nobody wants them. They're losing a shit ton of money.
dealers are refusing shipment.
Right.
Let me give you, before we leave, let me give you a brief video of Feeble Joe.
Is everyone here? That's a dumb question because you're not here. How would you know you weren't here? I want to reiterate that appreciation today. I also convened my entire cabinet as part of a whole of government response. And that response is to increase the number and intensity of the extreme weather events and be wary we're going to use all the resources available to the government to do it.
My favorite part of the video is the sign language person. If you go back and watch it, they're looking like, the hell is he talking about?
I heard somebody say that the hurricanes and the storms that happened in the last couple of years are more focused than they've ever seen them. And there you got him saying the full force of the U.S. government is going to make these storms as intense as we can. It's like, damn, are they really doing it? These
Heart
people,
machine.
These people are diabolical, man.
I look, and you know how we say when your eyes are open to something, and you'll never, man, when I first heard about the heart machine, I never forgot it. And then when I learned what they were doing over there in China, we're messing with the clouds, they turned on that snow thing, and they got more than what they reckoned for that year. But these people are so bored. Instead of getting closer to God, they're trying to become God. So I mean, it's with the AI, with social media, with the China coming up with these brain warfare type of stuff. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to become gods, and the problem is the job is already taken. The job is already taken. Tomorrow, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm gonna throw this out there, and I'm gonna ask my boys. Don't say anything until tomorrow. I want y'all to think about this. But I was thinking about it when I was driving yesterday. Do you think the left has won in a way that I'll just say it. Do you think the left has won by bringing the right down to its level?
That'll be a fun topic for tomorrow.
Think about that. Do you think the left has won by bringing the right side of politics down to its level instead of vice versa? There's a whole lot of examples that I could throw out, and I will tomorrow. It's just that I just want to see what y'all have to think about it, what y'all have to say about it. Because, I continuously think about the Tea Party days, and I look at where we are now. And sometimes I just don't think, and believe me, I'm not even getting to the argument. I'm not getting to the discussion of tomorrow. I'm just letting you know where this is coming from. It's like, the lines of right and wrong are so blurred on both sides that it's almost become lawless. Seriously, it's almost become lawless. And once you do, now when Trump was in office, Trump's thing was like law and order. We got to make it law and order. But somewhere along the line, and I ain't even talking about him, but somewhere along the line, the lines underneath locally through states and whatnot, the lines have become so blurred that innocent people are getting in trouble and guilty people are going free, and the guilty people are being defended and the innocent people are being ridiculed. The truth is being slammed. Lies are being held in high regard. And that's my question. So y'all think about that. Y'all think about that tomorrow. We're going to talk about that. It'll just be us anyway. So it'll be back to us for the next couple of days. So yeah. All right. With that said, let me go to our final thoughts here on the Wayne Pre-Show. Muslim Rod, what's up? Go.
Muslim soda man. I gotta say, folks, what this I just got to give a shout out, and I did it earlier in the show. Representative Matt Gaetz, you are doing God's work. You have had in that House meeting when they were voting for McCarthy, and he was the only one to stand up and say hell no, and all those guys were coming at him like I thought he had balls of steel. And if you look at what he's doing now, standing up even against guys like Chip Soy and Byron Donalds, saying no, we drew the line in the sand, we're going to hold the line. That's what we need. And so Representative Matt Gaetz,
like Chip Soy.
Yeah, Chip Soy. But I just have to say that's the courage we need. And that's and we had Tommy Tuberville on last week. He's showing the same courage. Thank you, gentlemen, for what you're doing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, just realize that I hate to say this, but Washington is not going to get us out of our problem.
No,
we have to get ourselves out of our problem. Don't have too much faith in these people. There's some good ones, but they're not going to save us. There's too many bad ones. Say a prayer.
And that's why I said last week, they aren't leaders. Once you get that out of your head, they're not leaders.
No,
they're representatives, but they're not leaders. We voted them in it to represent us, not lead us. And that's what a whole lot of people, they get to DC and they're like, we're in charge. No, you're not in charge. You're there to make things work better for us down here, but you're not in charge. We're in charge. That's why you got that job that you have in Washington, D.C.
That's the problem, though. We're not in charge.
Well,
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, Chief.